The cry for justice against issues such as police brutality has inspired cities across the nation to reconsider their priorities. In order for city leaders to respond to citywide issues, there has to be a way for them to quickly understand public opinion. Social media sites such as Twitter provide large amounts of data that can be analyzed and then used to shape public policy. Project Tony allows users to enter their geolocation in a search query. It then takes the Twitter data, and displays a graph of how local opinion on the issue has changed over time. It also displays a comparison of local opinion to the national opinion. Twitter API will collect the tweets from the past week and filter them by geolocation. Google's Natural Language Processor API conducts a sentiment analysis on the tweets and allows us to see how the public opinion has changed over the past week. Chart.js will display this data on a line graph so it's easy for the user to understand. We use Google's Firebase hosting to host the website and Firebase Cloud Functions to access our backend logic. We ran into some issues with Firebase, and we also had to learn how to use Node for the backend since Firebase does not run with Python. We also had some issues dynamically updating our graph using Charts.js. We hope to expand on the data visualization features of the app. The Google Cloud Platform was essential to our project, and we use Google Firebase hosting and Google Cloud Functions and the Google Natural Language API. When the user first enters the app, they're prompted to enter a zip code and a keyword that we will use as a search query. Next, they're shown the sentiment analysis for that query in their zip code in the last 7 days. Another feature that we have in our app is to be able to compare the local sentiment to the national sentiment. So this will do a side-by-side comparison of the local data to the national data for the past 7 days.
Hi, so I just want to quickly talk about the backend of the project. So the backend takes in a query from the front end, which could be a phrase like police or dog pictures. But in this case, we're just analyzing the tweets from the keyword police. And what we do is that we use the Twitter API to grab related tweets to that keyword from 3 filters. So the first filter is a set of related tweets that are geotagged to a specific zip code that the user can input. And the second set of tweets is simply a random set of related tweets from across the country. And the last set of tweets is a set of related tweets from the most popular tweets. So what we do with each one of these data sets is that we run them through Google Cloud's Natural Language Processing API and analyze their sentiment. And what we do is that we assign a score between -1 and 1 of each tweet in each data set. And with that data, what we do is that we actually calculate the average sentiment of that data set as well as the percentage of positive to negative scores in that data set. So from our national, so sort of random tweets, we can see that the average sentiment is quite low, with around an 80% negative to 5% positive to the rest being neutral opinion. And with our most popular tweets, we can see that the sentiment is also quite negative, but there's around a 50-50 sort of positive to negative ratio, which could hint to, popular statements being not as outspoken or opinionated. And for our local data from a zip code, example zip code in Chicago, we can see that the score is quite negative with a 0% positive and almost entirely negative percentage. So this itself could point towards tension between communities in Chicago and the police, which has been a known problem for decades. So overall, we think that these analytics can be quite powerful in informing both public policy as well as the average citizen on what both people locally and people around the country think about important and crucial topics.